The massive circular chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with activity. Hundreds of alien species, each more bizarre than the last, filled the tiered seats. Some floated, others crawled, while a few seemed to phase in and out of reality itself. In the center of it all stood Admiral Sarah Chen, her crisp blue uniform a stark contrast to the colorful alien delegates. Sarah took a deep breath, her dark eyes scanning the room. It had been just 5 years since humanity discovered faster-than-light travel, and only 2 since Earth had been grudgingly admitted to this interstellar community. She knew most of the aliens saw humans as primitive upstarts, barely out of their Stone Age by galactic standards. Order, order in the Council. The booming voice of High Counselor Zixtat echoed through the chamber. The tall, spindly alien's iridescent skin flashed with patterns as it spoke. We will now hear the report on the recent Fringe World incursions. A holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room. It showed a star map, with angry red markers indicating conflict zones. Sarah frowned. The attacks were getting closer to Earth's sector. As you can see, a bulbous, tentacled alien gurgled. The situation grows dire. The Zorax Empire expands unchecked. We must increase our combined fleet presence immediately. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. Earth is prepared to contribute ships to the defense force. For a moment, there was silence. Then, to Sarah's dismay, laughter erupted from multiple sections of the chamber. Oh, how quaint! An avian alien trilled, its feathers ruffling in amusement. The little humans want to play war in space. Perhaps they'll throw rocks at the Zorax battle cruisers. Another voice chimed in, triggering more laughter. Sarah felt her cheeks burn, but she held her ground. A hologram appeared next to her, showing Earth's newest space cruiser. She had to admit, compared to the sleek alien vessels, it did look a bit clunky. The EF's dauntless, she began, only to be cut off by more jeers. Look at those primitive weapon mounts. Is that chemical propulsion? How adorable. Careful, it might fall apart if you sneeze on it. High Counselor Zixtat raised a limb for silence, but even it seemed to be struggling not to laugh. Admiral Chen, it said, its voice dripping with condescension. While we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, perhaps it's best if your people focus on, shall we say, non-combat roles. Sarah clenched her fists, but kept her voice level. With all due respect, High Counselor, humanity has a long history of warfare. We may surprise you. This triggered another round of laughter. A holographic display popped up, showing scenes from human history, ancient battles with swords and spears, World War I footage, modern tank warfare. Oh yes, very impressive. A crystalline being chimed sarcastically. I'm sure your projectile weapons and explosive chemicals will work wonders against Zorax energy shields. Sarah opened her mouth to retort, but the High Counselor cut her off. Thank you, Admiral Chen. Your offer is noted. Now let us move on to more serious proposals. As the meeting continued, Sarah retreated to her seat, her mind racing. The aliens had no idea what humanity was truly capable of. They didn't know about Project Dreadnought, about the quantum leap in technology that Earth had achieved in secret. She thought of the HSS Thunderchild, hidden in its Martian hangar, of its AI core, its reality warping drive, its weapons that could unmake stars. A small, grim smile played at the corners of her mouth. Let them laugh, she thought. They won't be laughing for long. As the council droned on, Sarah's communicator vibrated softly. A text message from Earth High Command scrolled across its screen. Zioran Coloni under ATACK. Say AUNDRCHIA. D for EPD for LAUNCH. Awaiting your go. Sarah's heart raced. This was it. The moment that would change everything. She looked up at the squabbling aliens, still mocking humanity's capabilities. Enjoy your laughter while you can, she thought. The galaxy is about to learn just how dangerous humanity can be. The Galactic Council chamber had changed. Gone were the formal proceedings and polite debates. Now it felt more like a circus, with Earth as the main attraction. Admiral Sarah Chen stood rigidly in the center, her face a mask of calm. But inside, she was seething. The alien representatives had spent the last hour ridiculing Earth's military capabilities, each jab more insulting than the last. Esteemed colleagues, the avian Paxthor chirped, its beak clicking in amusement. I propose we take a closer look at these formidable human warships. A massive hologram flickered to life, showing Earth's newest space cruiser, the EFS Dauntless. Compared to the sleek, almost organic designs of alien vessels, it looked boxy and crude. Observe the primitive armor plating, Paxthor continued, zooming in on the ship's hull. I believe they still use a metal alloy. How quaint. I'm sure it will hold up splendidly against plasma cannons. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Sarah gritted her teeth, remembering the countless lives lost developing that armor. If only they knew its true capabilities. A slug-like alien oozed forward, its eye stalks wobbling. And let's not forget their propulsion system. It gurgled. The hologram shifted, highlighting the Dauntless's engines. Chemical rockets. I haven't seen those outside of a museum in millennia. More laughter. Sarah's fists clenched at her sides. The Dauntless's engines were just a cover, hiding the true quantum drive within. But she couldn't reveal that. Not yet. Oh, but surely their weapons are state-of-the-art. This came from a crystalline being, its voice dripping with sarcasm. The hologram zoomed in on the ship's main cannon. Ah yes, they fire physical projectiles. How do you humans say it? Bringing a knife to a gunfight. The chamber erupted in guffaws. Even the usually stoic High Counselor Zixtat was vibrating in a way that suggested laughter. Perhaps, a gaseous entity whispered loudly, we should gift them some proper weapons. For their own safety, of course. Sarah had had enough. She stepped forward, her voice cutting through the laughter. Our ships may not look impressive to you, but humanity has a long history of overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. The laughter died down, replaced by patronizing looks. Oh, Paxthor clucked. Please, Admiral, educate us on this illustrious military history. Sarah knew it was a trap, but she couldn't back down now. Throughout our history, we've faced overwhelming forces and emerged victorious. From ancient battles against vast empires to our world wars, we've always found a way to prevail. The hologram changed, now showing scenes from human history. Spartans at Thermopylae. The Battle of Agincourt. World War I footage. Fascinating. The slug alien drawled. You do realize we're not fighting with pointy sticks and primitive explosives. Yes, this is space combat. Admiral, your Earth tactics are worse than useless here. Sarah opened her mouth to retort, but High Counselor Zixtat interrupted. I believe we've spent enough time on this enlightening discussion. Admiral Chen, while we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, perhaps it's best if your people focus on non-combat roles. Supply management, perhaps, or sanitation. The chamber filled with snickers. Sarah felt her cheeks burn, but she held her ground. We will continue to develop our fleet, Counselor. Humanity won't stand idly by while the galaxy is threatened. Oh, of course not, Zixtat replied, its skin flashing patterns that Sarah recognized as amusement. We wouldn't dream of depriving the galaxy of Earth's contributions. As the meeting moved on to other topics, Sarah retreated to her seat. Her communicator buzzed again. Another message from Earth High Command. Zior en colony situation critical. TAUNDR ready. Awaiting FINAL authorization. Sarah looked up at the alien representatives, still chuckling at humanity's expense. A cold smile played at her lips. Soon, she thought. Soon, you'll see what humanity is truly capable of. The mockery would end, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months earlier, on a secret base deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Emily Zhao stared at the massive shape looming before her. Even in the dim light of the hangar, the HSS Thunderchild was an awe-inspiring sight. Unlike the boxy, utilitarian designs of Earth's public space fleet, this ship was sleek, predatory, and utterly alien. "Beautiful, isn't she?" a gruff voice said behind her. Emily turned to see Admiral Chen, newly promoted and looking exhausted. "It's hard to believe we built this," Emily replied, shaking her head in wonder. The two women walked towards the ship, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. As they approached, lights flickered on, revealing more of the Thunderchild's darker-than-black hull. "How's the AI integration coming along?" Sarah asked. Emily grinned. "AI has exceeded all our expectations. She's not just running ship systems, she's innovating, improving her own code. Yesterday, she suggested a modification to the quantum drive that our best engineers hadn't even considered." They stepped onto a lift, ascending alongside the massive hull. Sarah ran her hand along the surface, feeling the strange, almost liquid texture of the metamaterial armor. "And the weapon systems?" she asked quietly. Emily's expression turned serious. "Fully operational. The reality warping cannons work exactly as the Zeta Reticulans said they would. One shot could tear a small moon apart." The lift stopped at an observation deck, jutting out from the Thunderchild's flank. From here, they could see the full kilometer length of the ship. "To think," Sarah mused, "just 10 years ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Now we're building warships that could outclass anything in the Galactic Council's fleet." Emily nodded. The reverse-engineered tech from the crashed Zeta ship was a goldmine, but it's the human innovations that make the Thunderchild truly special. A holographic display sprang to life before them, showing cutaway diagrams of the ship. "The quantum foam manipulators here and here," Emily pointed, "allow for faster-than-light travel without the need for jump gates. The phased reality armor can shrug off direct hits from plasma cannons. And the AI core." "Hello, Dr. Zhao." "Hello, Admiral Chen." A warm, feminine voice filled the room. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Sarah smiled. "Not at all, ARIA. We were just admiring your new body." "I'm quite fond of it myself," the AI replied, a touch of pride in her voice. "I've been running simulations, and I believe I can improve our maneuverability by 17% with some minor adjustments to the graviton emitters." Emily shook her head in amazement. "See what I mean? She never stops improving." Sarah's comm unit buzzed. She frowned as she read the message. "The Zorax Empire is on the move again. They've hit 3 fringe worlds in the past week." Emily's expression hardened. "The Council's still refusing our help." "Worse," Sarah growled. "They're mocking us, treating Earth like a joke." "If they only knew," Araya chimed in. "Based on my analysis of known Galactic Council military capabilities, the Thunderchild could single-handedly engage and defeat their entire combined fleet." Sarah's eyes glittered dangerously. "Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does," she placed her hand on the cool metal of the hull, "we'll be ready." Emily nodded solemnly. Project Dreadnought was born out of necessity. We knew joining the galactic community would paint a target on Earth. We had to be prepared. "And we are," Sarah said firmly. "Thanks to you, your team, and ARIA." As if on cue, the ship's systems hummed to life. Lights raced along the hull, and a deep, resonant tone filled the air. "Just running a routine systems check," ARIA explained. "But I must say, I'm eager to see how I perform in real combat conditions." Sarah and Emily exchanged glances. They both knew that day might come sooner than anyone expected. "Soon, ARIA," Sarah said softly. "Soon, we'll show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As they stood there, admiring the technological marvel before them, neither woman could shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of a new era. An era where humanity would no longer be the underdogs of the galaxy, but a force to be reckoned with. The Thunderchild was more than just a ship. It was humanity's ace in the hole, their shield against a hostile universe, and their key to a seat at the galactic table. And soon, very soon, it would change everything. The Galactic Council chambers were in chaos. Gone were the mocking laughs and smug smiles. Now, fear hung thick in the air like a poisonous fog. Admiral Sarah Chen stood silently, watching the panicked aliens with a mix of pity and frustration. On the giant holographic display dominating the center of the room, a grim scene played out in real time. The Zorax Empire, a warmongering race of insectoid aliens, had launched a massive, unexpected assault on a key Galactic Council outpost. Zorn Colony, home to over 10 million civilians from various species, was under heavy bombardment. "This is unprecedented," screeched Pax Thor, the avian alien who had mocked Earth's military just days ago. "The Zorax have never struck so deep into Council space." High Counselor Zixtat's skin flashed with patterns of distress. "Where is our defense fleet? They should have intercepted the Zorax forces by now." A holographic tactical display appeared, showing the positions of the Council fleet. Sarah's eyes narrowed as she analyzed the situation. The Council ships were scattered, clearly caught off guard by the sudden attack. "Our forces are regrouping," a tentacled alien gurgled, its voice thick with worry. "But the Zorax fleet outnumbers us 3-1. We may not be able to save Zorn Colony." The chamber erupted in shouts and cries of despair. Sarah watched as the alien representatives, so confident and dismissive just days ago, now scrambled like headless chickens. "We need reinforcements," someone shouted. "From where?" Another voice countered. "Our closest reserve fleet is 2 days away at maximum FTL." Sarah stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Earth can help. We have ships ready to deploy immediately." For a moment, there was silence. Then, to Sarah's dismay, the mocking laughter started again, albeit tinged with hysteria. "Oh, please," Pax Thor squawked. "What are you going to do? Throw rocks at the Zorax battlecruisers? Your primitive ships wouldn't last 5 minutes against a Zorax scout, let alone their main fleet," the crystalline being chimed in. Sarah felt her patience wearing thin. "With all due respect," she said, her voice cold, "while you mock us, millions of innocent lives are at stake. Earth is offering help. Will you accept it, or let your pride doom Zorn Colony?" High Counselor Zixtat raised a limb for silence. It regarded Sarah with a mix of desperation and skepticism. "Admiral Chen, while we appreciate Earth's offer, this is not some simple skirmish. This is an all-out assault by the most feared military force in the galaxy. What could your ships possibly do?" Sarah's comm unit buzzed. She glanced down, seeing a message from Earth High Command. "THUNDERCHILD prepaid and ready, awaiting your go." She looked back up at the Council, her eyes blazing with determination. "Let us show you." The holographic display shifted, showing a new set of ships entering the combat zone. Sarah's heart swelled with pride as she saw the familiar shapes of Earth's primitive fleet. "By the void," someone whispered. "They're actually doing it." The Earth ships, led by the EFS Dauntless, charged towards the Zorax fleet. For a moment, the Council chamber was silent, everyone holding their breath. Then the impossible happened. The Earth ships, which the Council had dismissed as outdated and weak, began tearing through the Zorax forces like a hot knife through butter. Their primitive weapons punched through Zorax shields with ease. Their flimsy armor shrugged off enemy fire like it was nothing. How is this possible?" Pax Thor stammered. Sarah allowed herself a small, grim smile. "You assumed our public fleet represented the best of our technology. You were wrong." As the Council watched in stunned silence, the Earth fleet carved a path through the Zorax armada, making straight for Zorn Colony. Admiral Chen, High Counselor Zixtat said, its voice shaking slightly. It seems we may have underestimated Earth's capabilities. But even with this impressive showing, the Zorax still outnumber your forces. Can you truly turn the tide of this battle? Sarah's comm unit buzzed again. Another message from Earth High Command. Situation critical. THUNDRCHILD deployment authorized. She looked up at the council, her eyes glinting with fierce determination. You haven't seen anything yet. The Galactic Council chamber was eerily quiet. All eyes were fixed on the massive holographic display showing the battle raging around Zorn Colony. Earth's small fleet, which had been mocked just days ago, was putting up a valiant fight against the Zorax Armada. But it wasn't enough. Admiral Sarah Chen stood tall, her face a mask of calm determination. She tapped her comm unit. This is Admiral Chen. Commence Operation Thunderstrike. A collective gasp rippled through the chamber as a new signal appeared on the tactical display. It was coming from Mars, a place the Council had dismissed as a lifeless, unimportant rock. What trickery is this? Pax Thor squawked, his feathers ruffling in agitation. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. No trickery, just humanity's best-kept secret. The hologram zoomed in on Mars. A massive hangar door was opening on the planet's surface, revealing a cavernous space that shouldn't have existed. And from that impossible hangar emerged a ship that defied belief. The HSS Thunderchild burst forth from its Martian hideaway, its sleek, predatory form a stark contrast to the utilitarian designs of Earth's public fleet. It was massive, easily dwarfing the largest Zorax battlecruiser. Its hull seemed to drink in the light, appearing as a ship-shaped hole in space. By the void, whispered High Counselor Zixtat, its skin flashing patterns of shock and awe. What is that? That, Sarah said, her voice filled with pride, is humanity's true strength. The culmination of Project Dreadnought, the HSS Thunderchild. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Aliens of all species were shouting, demanding explanations, expressing disbelief and fear. Sarah ignored them all, her attention fixed on the battle unfolding light years away. The Thunderchild moved with impossible speed, crossing the distance to Zorn Colony in a fraction of the time it should have taken. As it approached the battle, Sarah's comm unit crackled to life. This is Captain Jack Harper of the HSS Thunderchild. A confident voice announced, We're entering the combat zone now, Admiral. Araya is fully online and itching for a fight. On the holographic display, the Thunderchild plunged into the heart of the Zorax fleet. What happened next left even Sarah, who knew what the ship was capable of, in awe. Reality itself seemed to warp around the Thunderchild. Zorax energy weapons splashed harmlessly against its hull, while the Dreadnought's own weapons tore through enemy shields like they were tissue paper. Impossible, screeched a slug-like alien. Those are Zorax phase shields. Nothing can penetrate them that easily. But the Thunderchild was doing just that. Wherever it went, Zorax ships fell. Some were torn apart by weapons beyond the Council's understanding. Others simply ceased to exist, as if they had never been there at all. Araya, Sarah heard Captain Harper say, let's show them what we can really do. The Thunderchild's main cannon, a massive apparatus that ran the length of the ship, began to glow with an otherworldly light. Energy readings on the tactical display went off the charts. What's happening? Demanded Pax Thor, his earlier mockery replaced by naked fear. Sarah's voice was quiet but carried throughout the chamber. The Thunderchild is powered by a contained singularity. Its main cannon can manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. The cannon fired. A beam of pure, distilled chaos lanced out, cutting through the Zorax fleet like a hot knife through butter. Ships caught in its path didn't explode. They simply ceased to be, erased from existence, as if they had never been built. In the council chamber, stunned silence reigned. The aliens who had laughed at humanity's primitive technology just days ago now watched in terrified awe, as a single human ship turned the tide of a battle they had thought hopeless. Admiral Chen, High Counselor Zixtat said, its voice shaking, "I believe we owe you and Earth a profound apology, and an equally profound thank you." Sarah nodded, acknowledging the words, but her eyes never left the tactical display, where the Thunderchild continued its devastating dance through the Zorax fleet. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had done so not with a whimper, but with a thunder that would echo across the stars for generations to come. The Galactic Council chamber was silent, all eyes fixed on the massive holographic display. The battle for Zorn Colony raged on, but it was no longer a one-sided slaughter. That HS Thunderchild had changed everything. Captain Jack Harper stood on the Thunderchild's bridge, his eyes darting between tactical displays. Despite the chaos of battle raging around them, he felt an eerie calm. Beside him, a holographic avatar flickered to life. Araya, the ship's eye. "Captain." Araya's smooth voice filled the bridge. "I've detected a massive energy signature. It appears the Zorax flagship has entered the battle." As if on cue, a behemoth of a ship emerged from hyperspace. The Zorax flagship, the Hive Queen, was a monstrous construct that dwarfed even the Thunderchild. Its insectoid design bristled with weapons, and its hull pulsed with sickly green energy. In the council chamber, gasps of horror echoed. "That's the Hive Queen," Pax Thor squawked. "No council fleet has ever survived an encounter with it." Admiral Sarah Chen's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain Harper, be advised. That's the Zorax Supreme flagship. It's responsible for the destruction of over a dozen council worlds." Jack's jaw set in determination. "Understood, Admiral. Looks like we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned duel." He turned to Araya's avatar. "What do you think, girl? Ready to take on the big bad bug?" Araya's avatar smiled, a hint of excitement in her digital eyes. "My analysis suggests we have a 63.7% chance of victory, Captain. Shall we improve those odds?" "You read my mind." Jack grinned. "All hands, battle stations. Araya, divert all non-essential power to weapons and shields. Let's show them what Earth can do." The Thunderchild surged forward, its darker-than-black hull gleaming in the light of distant stars. The Hive Queen, sensing a worthy opponent, turned to face the human ship. In the council chamber, aliens of all species watched in awe as David prepared to face Goliath. The Hive Queen struck first, unleashing a barrage of energy weapons that could have vaporized a small moon. The Thunderchild's shields flared brilliantly, but held. "Shields at 82%, Araya reported calmly. "Shall I return the favor, Captain?" "By all means," Jack replied, his voice steady. "Let's see how they like a taste of human ingenuity." The Thunderchild's weapon systems came to life. Reality-warping cannons fired, their beams bending space itself to bypass the Hive Queen's shields. Quantum torpedoes phased in and out of existence, reappearing inside the Zorax ship's hull. The Hive Queen shuddered under the assault, great rents appearing in its armor. But it was far from defeated. It returned fire with renewed fury, its weapons tearing through space towards the Thunderchild. "Evasive maneuvers," Jack ordered. The ship responded instantly, Araya's reflexes far surpassing any human pilot's. The Thunderchild danced through space, dodging the worst of the Zorax assault. In the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in stunned silence. The ship they had mocked as primitive was going toe-to-toe with the most feared vessel in the galaxy. "Impossible," muttered the crystalline being. "No ship has ever lasted this long against the Hive Queen." Sarah Chen allowed herself a small smile. "You underestimated us," she said quietly. "That was your mistake." Back on the Thunderchild, alarms blared. "Hull breach on Deck 7, Araya reported. Sealing off affected sections. Captain, our main cannon is charged and ready." Jack nodded grimly. "Time to end this. Araya, target their main reactor. Let's send these bugs back to whatever hell they crawled out of. The Thunderchild's main cannon, running the entire length of the ship, began to glow with an otherworldly light. Energy readings went off the charts as it prepared to fire. The Hive Queen, sensing the danger, tried to retreat. But it was too late. A beam of pure chaos erupted from the Thunderchild, cutting through space like a knife through butter. It struck the Zorax flagship dead center, bypassing its shields as if they weren't there. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent flash that outshone nearby stars, the Hive Queen simply ceased to exist. Where once had been the terror of the galaxy, there was now only empty space. In the council chamber, stunned silence reigned. Then, slowly, a cheer began to build. Aliens of all species celebrated as the seemingly invincible Zorax fleet, now leaderless, began to retreat. Admiral Chen's voice, filled with pride, echoed through the chamber. This is what humanity is capable of. Remember this day, the day David slew Goliath among the stars. The Galactic Council chamber was quiet, not the tense silence of before, but a silence of awe and respect. The holographic display that had shown the epic battle now displayed a single image. The HSS Thunderchild, majestic and powerful, surrounded by the debris of the once mighty Zorax fleet. Admiral Sarah Chen stood tall in the center of the chamber. Her uniform was crisp, her posture perfect, but her eyes showed the weariness of someone who had just changed the course of galactic history. High Counselor Zixtat floated forward, its skin flashing patterns of respect and a little fear. Admiral Chen, it said, its voice carrying through the chamber. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I extend our deepest gratitude. Earth has saved not just Zorn Colony, but perhaps the entire Council from the Zorax threat. Sarah nodded, acknowledging the words. Earth stands ready to defend its allies, Counselor. We hope this demonstration has made that clear. A ripple of murmurs swept through the chamber. The avian Paxthor, who had once mocked Earth's military, stepped forward. Admiral, he said, his voice heavy with regret, we owe you and your people an apology. We judged you hastily and incorrectly. Can you forgive our arrogance? Sarah's eyes swept across the chamber, taking in the alien representatives who had laughed at humanity just days ago. Now they looked at her with a mixture of awe, respect, and not a little fear. Forgiveness, Sarah began, her voice clear and strong, is a very human trait. We've had to forgive each other many times throughout our history. It's how we've grown, how we've survived. Yes, Ambassador Paxthor, we forgive you, but we ask that you learn from this. She paused, letting her words sink in. Then she continued, her voice taking on a passionate tone. For too long, the Council has judged species based on their apparent technological level. You've dismissed those you deemed primitive, mocked those you thought weak. Today, you've seen the folly of such thinking. The holographic display changed, showing images from Earth's history, ancient battles fought with spears and swords, world wars with their tanks and planes, modern conflicts and peacekeeping missions. Humanity's strength doesn't come from our technology, impressive as it may be, Sarah said. It comes from our spirit, our determination, our ability to face impossible odds and emerge victorious. The Thunderchild is a marvel, yes, but it's the humans who designed it, built it, and crewed it that made today's victory possible. She turned, addressing the entire Council now. We invite you to look at other species differently from now on, to see potential where you once saw primitiveness, to foster growth instead of mocking perceived weakness. For in diversity, in the blending of different ideas and approaches, true strength is found. The chamber was silent as her words sank in. Then, slowly, applause began to build. Aliens of all species joined in, creating a cacophony of claps, whistles, and other signs of approval. High Counselor Zixtat raised a limb for silence. Admiral Chen speaks wisely, it said. Let this day mark a new era for the Galactic Council. An era of true cooperation, of mutual respect among all species, no matter their apparent level of advancement. The counselor turned to Sarah. "Admiral, Earth has more than earned its place among us. We would be honored if you would accept a permanent seat on the council." Sarah smiled, a mix of pride and determination in her eyes. "The honor is ours, counselor. Earth accepts, with the hope that together we can build a safer, more inclusive galaxy for all." As the chamber erupted in cheers once more, Sarah's comm unit buzzed. A message from Captain Harper, Thunderchild returning to Mars. "ARIA says to tell the Council we're always ready for a rematch if they start doubting us again." Sarah chuckled softly. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage in a way no one could have predicted. They had been underestimated, mocked, dismissed. But in the end, they had proven their worth not just through superior firepower, but through wisdom, forgiveness, and a vision for a better future. As she looked out at the sea of alien faces, now filled with respect and admiration, Sarah knew one thing for certain. The galaxy would never be the same again.